It's entree time, and I'm Renee Chudkowski bringing you my magical manicotti today. I picked this recipe because it uses the Philadelphia cream cheese in kind of a unique way. I love it for the creaminess and the flavor it brings, but it also makes what can sometimes be a difficult job filling manicotti really easy. I also have another magic trick I use, and that's making my homemade manicotti shells. So that's why I call it magical manicotti. First thing I'm going to do is actually show you how to make the shells so they can cool a little bit before I fill them. Come on over here. The batter for the homemade pasta shells is very similar to a pasta, except I use it a little bit thinner and I make it almost like a crepe batter. And then what I do is I get some type of a pan heating up. I usually use a 7-inch non-stick pan, but you can use one bigger or smaller if that's what you have. Teeny little bit of butter in it. And usually only have to add the butter maybe once or twice through making the shells. And I'm going to show you how to make one. I have my pan nice and hot, and I'm going to pour in probably a scant 1/8 of a cup or so of batter. With the recipe that I've given you, you're going to get probably 8 to 10 shells the first time that you make it. Second time you make it, you're probably going to get 10 to 12 shells, and when you get good at it, you're going to get 12 probably every time. So when you pour it in your hot pan, the batter, kind of like a real thin pancake batter, starts to cook and it starts to dry, and the edges start to curl a little bit. What I do is help it along, and just kind of loosen it, grab it, and flip it. The heat will start cooking the other side and basically dry it, and once it's dry, it's ready to go. This one's all set, and I've made the rest of them already. So it's nice and loose, and you can, when you shake the pan, when it comes loose, you know that it's done. So I'm going to put that right on my other batch, and you can see I've got about a dozen made. All right, next thing I'm going to do is work with the Italian sausage and the cream cheese and a little bit of garlic, and this is going to be the filling for the manicotti. Check this out. I have taken 1 pound of bulk Italian sausage, and I've cooked it and I've crumbled it. I've pulled it out of the way, like this right here, so you can see that there's a little bit of the grease pulling. Let me show you a little trick I use to pull grease out of a pan. I take a paper towel and I just kind of crumble it up a little bit, and I just kind of work it in with my tongs until it's all dry, until most of the grease is out anyhow. And then when you can see that it's kind of wicked up on the paper towel, set it aside or toss it away, and you're all set to go. This is 1 pound of cooked Italian sausage. To this, I'm going to add a clove of garlic. I'm going to press it today. I like fresh garlic. I actually, my doctor tells me that garlic is really good for you. It's like a roto-rooter for your arteries. And I'm like, cool, because the next thing I thought about was, okay, so if you have garlic first, you can have dessert and they cancel each other out. All right, so I'm going to stir this in, and then next we add the star of the show. I've got an 8-ounce brick of Philly cream cheese that has been at room temperature for maybe 20 minutes or so. You can also soften it in the microwave if you'd like. So I'm just going to kind of mix that in, and you probably know how smooth and creamy this gets. You can use regular, fat-free, or the light. And if any tries to escape, just kind of get it back in the pan. Because the pan is warm and the sausage is already cooked, it does not take long for this to work its way in. And for anybody who's ever tried to fill manicotti with loose sausage or loose filling, you'll appreciate this. The cream cheese keeps it together really, really nicely. All right, once this works its way in, you can remove it from the heat, and it'll start to cool, which will let us fill it really easy. All right, let's come on over here. I add a little bit of something healthy to my manicotti, a little bit of spinach, and I've taken a little bit of time to do some prep on here. I take about 4 cups of spinach, which is this much right here, and I've used baby spinach. I microwave it for 2 minutes, and look what happens. I'm going to be able to drain out a lot of the liquid from the spinach, which gives the texture of my manicottis an excellent, excellent boost and an excellent flavor. So I'm going to pull out the spinach and set this aside. All right, check this out. I'm going to start filling my shells with my meat mixture. And like I said, this is just simply ground Italian sausage cooked through, a little bit of garlic, and the Philly cream cheese. I'm going to take about 1/4 cup or so, put it in the middle of the manicotti, fold it over, and roll it just like that, seam side down, in a pan that you've got a little bit of your favorite marinara sauce place. This keeps the manicotti from sticking. This one I'm going to put a little spinach in. I forgot to on the first one, but I'm allowed. And then just kind of roll it, seam side down, and then continue. You want to fill all of these. I'll do a couple more just so you can see. But again, about 1/4 cup. And you know, after you've made these once or twice, you'll get an idea of how much filling to put in, and you'll turn out even Steven every time. You can see the color of the spinach in here is really, really nice. All right. One of the things, too, that I like to point out about this is I'm using just a regular sweet Italian sausage. The sweet Italian sausage doesn't mean that it's sweet. It means that it's not hot. If you like things hot and spicy, you could certainly use a regular Italian sausage with this, or a spicy Italian, or a hot Italian. All right. I'm going to pop this in. Now we're going to pretend that we went ahead and finished the rest of the shells. What I do next is finish by topping it with whatever your favorite marinara sauce is. I usually go with a nice herbed, like maybe basil and garlic and sometimes chunky tomatoes. You want to top them just like this. I sprinkle on a little bit of ground Parmesan cheese, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, or you could do provolone or any type of a regular Italian combination like this. Sprinkle it on, and then this would go in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes or so, basically just until it's heated through and the cheese is melted. Check it out, I got one going for you. Oh, it looks perfect. Look at this. That's what it looks like when it comes out. You can see it's nice and bubbly around the edges. The cheese is nice and melty. And then what I like to do is to serve this with a nice glass of wine. Maybe a little salad on the side. I'm going to ease one out here just so you can see. And this is so nice, and filling these is so much easier than trying to fill those little tubes that you buy at the grocery store. Can you see? Doesn't that look good? You want to see it disappear? That's the rest of the magic. 1, 2, 3, gone. Thanks. We'll see you next time.